I decided to run to be Mississippi's next Attorney General because it's a continuation of a lifetime of public service. I am a 32-year military veteran, served the majority of my military career as an intelligence officer for about 30 years. Before that, I was actually Private Riley. When I returned to Mississippi, I returned to go to law school and have been practicing law in the state of Mississippi for almost 20 years, mostly as a civil rights attorney. And so my entire life has been about serving people and protecting people, and this opportunity to run for Attorney General is just a continuation of that. So some of the biggest needs in the state of Mississippi, and we have many that the law can actually address, but my priority platform issues are combating the opioid epidemic in the state of Mississippi. The AG's office can help to ensure that resources are available so that people who are suffering from substance abuse receive treatment instead of being tossed away in jail. We can also hold corporations and pharmaceutical companies accountable when they are overprescribing, intentionally overprescribing in our state. I read a report, honestly, that out of 18 of Mississippi Delta counties, more prescriptions were written in 7 of those counties than in all the people in the Delta. And we need to have an AG who will look in depth and see why is that, and why, particularly in our rural areas where we know we have limited access to health care and hospitals, why that is happening, because that is disturbing. Our other platform issue is of course going to work on behalf of working Mississippians. We have hardworking people. My father, my mother were both hardworking people, and they put that ethic in me. I see the impact when you have more month than you have money. And people who are going to work every day need to make sure that they are protected so that they are secure in their employment. Of course, the last issue is protecting vulnerable Mississippians. So when I say vulnerable Mississippians, I am talking about our elderly. I am talking about children, and I am talking about veterans. We have too many veterans on our streets. We have children who are being trafficked in the state of Mississippi. I was very upset the other day when I saw the report of the 15-year-old who was, being held and forced into prostitution, by predators. People have to be held accountable, and so we need to make sure that we have an AG like myself who has absolutely no problem holding people accountable. Of course, the third issue is our elderly. Every Sunday, I'm an usher at my church. Well, I can't say every Sunday anymore because I'm visiting a lot of churches. But typically, there's always going to be some elderly little mother in the church who, says, hey, Sister Collins, can I talk to you just a moment? And when I make sure after church that I navigate back to that mother, I say, Mother, what can I do for you? Typically, she will tell me some story about how she has been conned, scammed, taken advantage of by people that are unscrupulous. Mississippi's Delta right now is flooded. We have, even where I'm from in Meridian, we have flooding problems because of all of the rain. We need to make sure that particularly our elderly, our vulnerable populations are not taken advantage of by people who would price gouge or people who would take advantage of them in helping them to restore and repair. And so I'm running to be Mississippi's next Attorney General so that I can go to work for people. Most definitely, as an intelligence officer, of course, I was trained to use the skills that I believe are innately in me to think strategically. My last assignment in the military was at the Pentagon. I walked around the Pentagon on a daily basis, responsible for navigating policy and developing policy and ensuring that policy was properly promulgated to ensure that the United States Army put policy on the ground that made sense. Working here in the Capitol in my current capacity, it has been no different from that. Walking around, navigating, writing legislation that will give to a legislator to propose for us that makes sense as it impacts everyday ordinary Mississippians. And what I did in the military and what I'm doing now are both skill sets that lend to that. again, I've been an attorney for almost 20 years, and as an attorney, I understand the law. I understand, but with a different perspective, how the law is applied on to ordinary people. And I think that perspective is what is so critical and what honestly distinguishes me from any other candidate. So when I came home back to Mississippi after serving in the military, I came with the intent on doing the work for Mississippians. It's what I'm called to do. It is what I've always done. This is a continuation of a lifetime of service. I am not a career politician, but I'm a person who is politically engaged, and I said I have tools, I have skills that I want to continue to put to work for everyday Mississippians, and that's why I'm running.